Hey guys, today we're going to work with some algebraic fractions. We're going to start by just simply simplifying. These questions all come from page 405. Let's start by simplifying this fraction. Now when you simplify algebraic fractions, one of the main things students do wrong is they try to cancel through subtraction or addition. So for example, I'm not allowed to reduce this 3 with this 6 or this x with this x. And here's why. If I had x plus 7 over x and people think that they could cancel, that's incorrect because x is a number. Think about it. What if x is 3? 3 plus 7 over 3 is 10/3. Now, if you take 3 plus 7 over 3 and think that you can cancel and these numbers become 1s, you get 1 plus 7 over 1, which is 8. So it doesn't maintain that same value. So avoid canceling through addition or subtraction. Think of the subtraction or addition as glue. What you have to do is you have to factor to produce multiplication. Because if you have multiplication like this, you can cancel. If x was 3, 21 over 3 is the same thing as canceling out these 3's and getting 7 over 1. So I'm going to factor a GCF of 3x squared out of the denominator. 3x squared leaves me with 2 minus 9x cubed over 3x. So this 3 and this 3 can cancel again because this is multiplication, and this x and one of these x's can cancel. So I'm left with a 1 in the numerator and x times 2 minus 9x cubed in the denominator. Let's try another one. What about number 41? 41, you're simplifying. You have x squared plus 16x plus 55 over x squared minus 3x minus 40 times x squared minus 5x minus 24 over x squared plus x minus 110. So let's think through this one. Since we're not allowed to cancel through addition and subtraction, we're going to factor all of these parts and see what we can cancel. So we're going to factor all 3 of these by using the multiplication and addition method. And again, if you can't figure things out, like 55 is kind of a weird number, you could type into your y equals part of your calculator 55, whatever the last number is without the x, divided by x. And just look at the table. What numbers multiply to 55, here they all are, and add up to 16? 5 and 11. So the problem becomes x plus 5 times x plus 11. Now keep in mind that factors usually cancel in these questions. So probably there's going to be some x plus 5s and x plus 11s in the bottom maybe. What numbers multiply to negative 40 and add up to negative 3? Negative 8 and positive 5. There we have it. The x plus 5s will cancel in a moment. What numbers multiply to negative 24 and add up to negative 5? X minus 8 and x plus 3. What numbers multiply to negative 110 and add up to 1? Positive 11 and negative 10. X plus 11's cancel, x minus 8's cancel, x plus 5's cancel. So we're left with x plus 3 over x minus 10. So when you're multiplying, you very rarely actually multiply. It's basically 2 fractions that you're going to simplify, and then I guess you do multiply 1 times x plus 3 to get x plus 3 and 1 times x minus 10 to get x minus 10, but you're not really doing a lot of multiplication. Let's try 48. 48 is a subtraction question, which I think is the most difficult of them all. X plus 8 over x squared plus 3x minus 40 minus x plus 2 over x plus 8. So to do this question, when you subtract fractions, you have to have a common denominator. It's kind of like when you do 1/2 minus 1/4. You can't subtract if the denominators are different. So you'd have to multiply the top and bottom of this fraction by 2 so that you get 2 over 4 minus 1 over 4. And then the answer is 1 over 4. In this case, we should factor the denominator to see what the pieces of the denominator look like. So for example, this would be, what numbers multiply to negative 40 and add up to 3? 8 and negative 8, or negative 5. So this denominator consists of x plus 8, so does this one. But this denominator has x minus 5, but this one doesn't. So we're going to multiply the top and bottom of the second fraction by x minus 5. Similar to how this 4 had 2 2's, but this only had 1 2. We had to multiply the top and bottom of this first fraction by 2. So now, this first denominator stays the same. Therefore, the numerator stays the same. Since we multiplied the top and bottom of this one by x plus 5, or excuse me, x minus 5, we have to multiply the top by x minus 5. Now here's where things are difficult. Now that you have a common denominator, subtraction involves you to change this to adding the opposite. So we first should simplify this second numerator. So take your time and write everything out. The second numerator, using the double distributive property, would be x squared minus 3x minus 10. Now this is the tough part. Make sure you take the time to distribute this negative in here. And then it really becomes an addition problem. X plus 8 plus negative x squared plus 3x plus 10 over the common denominator of x plus 8 times x minus 5. So now we have negative x squared, let's combine x and 3x, plus 4x, 8 and 10 is 18, x plus 8 and x minus 5. Before we finish up, we'll try to see if we could simplify this. Let's factor out a negative 1, and we ask ourselves, are there any numbers that multiply to negative 18 and add up to negative 4? There are not, so this is really the final answer. If there were, we would try to factor it and simplify like we've been doing. But give it a try. Let me know if you have any questions. Have a great day.